Question: what is the fundamental problem on why we study economics? Bakit natin pinag-aaralan ng economics? Ano ba ang problema? Well, based dun sa discussion natin sa introduction to Ag-Econ, the fundamental problem on why we study economics is because of scarcity, right? So imagine you are the leader of this island. And itong island na to, nagpuproduce lang siya ng fish and vegetable. However, nagkaroon ng problema kung saan nadideplete yung fish supply na hinuhuli ng mga fisherman mo. And at the same time, yung tubig na gagamitin nyo for farming vegetables ay hindi na rin ganun ka-abundant. So as the leader, as the chieftain of this island, how would you allocate your resources? How would you allocate yung water resource mo sa pag-farm ng vegetable? How would you allocate yung mga fish mo para hindi sila tuluyan na maubos kasi nga nadideplete na sila? And how would you distribute that to the different members of the community? To the fishermen, to the farmers, and to the families? Now, when you are the leader of this island and you are solving this problem, then you are solving the problem of scarcity, and therefore, you need to study and use economic analysis to solve the problem. And scarcity, yan yung ugat kung bakit meron tayong pag-aaral ng economics. It is because there is a conflict between yung kagustuhan ng community, yung kagustuhan ng society, and yung resources na available. Yung kasi kagustuhan, yung wants and needs ng society, yan kasi ay unlimited. So, hindi nauubos yan. Okay? Every now and then, meron tayong gusto, meron tayong kailangan. Pero yung resources natin, limitado. Scarce. And because of that conflict, kailangan nating i-allocate ng maayos yung mga resources natin para lahat makuha kung ano yung pangangailangan nila and they can survive and thrive. Okay? Now, if we break down the scarcity problem, we will now be asking 5 economic questions. Una, the question of what to produce. The question of what to produce pinpoint to anong goods and service yung ipoproduce natin. So ano yung ipaprioritize natin na i-produced. We're also asking the question, how much? If we're going to produce, let's say, mangga, how many kilos of mangga ang kailangan nating i-produce? Siyempre, kailangan nating tignan yung population. Kailangan nating tignan kung gaano ba kahalaga ang mangga sa diet ng mga tao. Those are the things that we will be asking. Of course, number 3 question would be when to produce. So kung nakita natin na kailangan ng mga tao ang mangga, kailan natin yun ipoproduce? Para hindi sila maubusan. Kasi probably may mga season na yung mga tao, matakaw sila sa mangga. May mga season naman na hindi ganun katakaw. So it's about strategically timing yung production kung saan mas mataas yung demand. Diba? We are also asking the question, how are we going to produce it? Ano yung methods natin? Ano yung process? Para kapag nag-produce tayo, for example, ng mangga, matipid yung production natin, efficient. Okay? We are not wasting any resources. Mabilis yung production and then i-allocate natin ng maayos sa mga consumers. And of course, paano? Sino yung makikinabang kapag produce natin tong mga to? So these are the 5 basic economic problems that we are asking ourselves, breaking down the problem of scarcity. Now, because of these problems, lahat ng mga bansa, meron din silang kanya-kanyang goals. Dahil meron tayong problema sa pag-allocate ng resources, meron din tayong goal kung bakit natin gustong solusyonan itong mga problemang ito. And yun yung part 2 ng ating lecture for today, which are economic goals. What is the target? What are we hitting? Okay? So papasadahan ko sa inyo yung basic economic goals ng kahit na anong bansa. Yun yung gugustuhin nila para sa society nila at para sa mga mamamayan nila. Unang-una, isa sa mga goal ng economics is full employment. And we're talking here about employment as labor force, which is a country would like to ensure that all willing and able workers ay may trabaho. So hindi natin sinasabi dito na dapat zero yung unemployment, okay? Pero at least nandun lang siya sa kanyang natural rate. Ibig sabihin yan, kung sino yung willing and kaya na magtrabaho, may mahanap silang trabaho. Bakit ba importante ang trabaho? Why is labor? Why is employment? Why is employment important? Kasi kapag ang mga tao sa society mo may trabaho, ibig sabihin nun, mayroon silang income. Kapag mayroon silang income, ibig sabihin nun, gumagastos sila. Kapag gumagastos sila, ibig sabihin nun, may mga nagtatrive na mga businesses na nagpuproduce. And kapag nagpuproduce sila, ibig sabihin nun, tumataas ang ating gross domestic product. Okay, so later on, isa yun sa mga goal din ng economics is yung economic growth. So after full employment, isa pang goal ng bawat bansa, economically speaking, is equity, which is the fair distribution of economic resources and wealth. Ibig sabihin yan, gusto natin na hindi masyadong malayo yung gap between mayayaman and mahihirap. As much as we can, as a nation, gusto natin malapit lang yung gap na yon. Para you are allowing a level playing field kung saan every one of your people in that society may access sila sa resources na kailangan nila, nakakapag-aral sila, meron silang healthcare kapag nagkakasakit sila, and kung ano man yung opportunities na mayroon sa mga mayayaman, mayroon ding opportunities para sa mga mahihirap. Okay? So you are building an opportunity for everyone para maiangat yung status, yung economic status nila sa buhay. Yan. So that is equity. That is different. Okay? I want you to take note that equity is different from equality. Kasi when we're talking about equity, we're talking here about fairness. Okay? Dapat fair. Kung mas mataas ang produce mo as a person, mas mataas ang value na binibigay mo, dapat mabayaran ka ng mas tama. Yan ang sinasabi ng fairness. Whereas ang equality kasi, ang sinasabi natin dito is dapat pantay-pantay lang lahat ng makukuha nila, even though magkakaiba naman yung effort and value na binibigay nila sa society. So equality is not a goal of economics. I just want to be clear here kasi this is one of the questions na madalas lumalabas sa mga exam. Asking you kung alin daw ba sa mga choices ang hindi part ng economic goals, and then meron tong equality na to. And baka malito lang kayo, equity po ang goal natin, hindi equality. Okay? Our next economic goal is efficiency. Ibig sabihin, optimum yung paggamit natin ng resources para ma-maximize natin yung output. This means we should be using resources in the most cost-effective way. Dapat yung mga goods and services natin, mura, abot kaya para sa mga consumers. Okay? So dapat yung goods and services abot kaya sa mga consumers. The way we are producing products, dapat napapababa natin yung presyo para affordable siya sa mga consumers and magamit nila yun for their survival, and at the same time, kung may pagka-entrepreneurial spirit sila, magamit nila yun sa other forms of businesses. Ibig sabihin din ng efficiency, wala masyadong waste products kapag nagpo-produce tayo. Kasi ang waste products, ibig sabihin yan, foregone opportunity ang mga yan. Kasi kapag nag-produce ka, let's say, nag-produce ka ng isang produkto, tapos sandamakmak yung waste nun, yung waste na yun ay mapupunta lang din, is also considered as an economic waste. May value yung waste na yun. So the question is, pwede ba nating magamit yung waste and gawin into other forms of product? That is also a goal and a question of efficiency. Okay? Next goal is economic growth. Napasadahan ko yan kanina in our number 1, pero i-discuss ko na lang din, what does economic growth means? It means increase in the production of goods and services, and this is measured using our gross domestic product. Masasabi mo na nag-grow ang ating economy kapag yung value and amount of goods and services natin nag-grow rin, tumataas. Okay? If the amount and value of our goods and services is tumataas, ang nangyayari, ang ibig sabihin niyan, sa economy natin, maraming nagnenegosyo. And dahil maraming nagnenegosyo, maraming may trabaho. Dahil maraming may trabaho, maraming may income na napapaikot natin sa economy that drives economic growth. Okay, so para siyang cycle, umiikot lang siya. So the more business that we have, the more income people have, the more economic growth that we will be having. So that is one goal that our economy, that every economy is targeting economic growth. Puntahan ko na lang muna to para makita natin. Ito naman, to just compare it with economic development, yung economic growth, kaya dito na muna tayo. Economic development naman, para hindi kayo umalito, is about enhancing the quality of life and living standards. Ang economic growth, ang tinitignan lang natin dyan is the numbers in terms of kung ilan yung goods and services na produce ng bansa. Ang economic development naman is enhancing the quality, ang tinitignan na natin sa economic development is quality of life and living standards. So we are now going beyond the number and beyond the amount and value of goods and services. Ang ina-analyze na natin dyan is masaya ba yung mga tao sa bansa natin? That's one. Meron ba silang maayos na healthcare? Nakakapag-aral ba ang mga tao sa bansa? Do they feel safe na nasa bansa natin? So all of these things that doesn't talk about goods, that doesn't talk about the amount of goods and services na directly affecting yung quality of life ng mamamayan mo is economic development. So isa yan sa mga goal ng any community. Bukod sa economic growth, dapat may economic development. Kasi minsan nangyayari na mayroon tayong economic growth. So tumataas nga ang goods and services pero bumababa ang economic development. So for example, sa isang city mo, may nagpatayo ka doon ng factory. So syempre tumaas ang production, nagkaroon ng maraming trabaho, right? However, yung factory na yon nag-i-emit siya ng carbon monoxide which is causing environmental pollution, and then it is also causing lung diseases sa mga tao within that community. So yes, you are growing economically pero you are not developing economically. So that's one way of seeing it. Yes, tumaas ang bilang ng goods and services mo pero bumaba ang quality of life. So you need to balance it out. Dapat yung pagtaas ng goods and services natin, sumasabay yan doon sa pagtaas rin ng quality of life ng mga mamamayan. Okay, so economic development, yan ay isang goal ng any society rin. So balik tayo dito. Economic freedom naman, what does that mean? Ibig sabihin, individuals are free to make their own economic decisions. So wala dapat nagdidikta sa kanila. Di dapat sila dinidiktahan ng gobyerno kung ano yung dapat nilang bilhin na goods and services sa part ng consumer. And hindi rin sila dinidiktahan ng gobyerno kung ano yung ipoproduce nila, kung gusto nilang magnegosyo. Sa part naman ng producer yon. So ang economic freedom kasi, ang ginagawa niyan is it drives innovation. Kung hindi nangingialam ang gobyerno sa kung ano yung ipoproduce nila, ang natural kasi na phenomenon na mangyayari sa market is that yung mga businesses, they will produce kung ano yung kinakailangan ng mga consumers. And yung mga consumers naman, bibili sila ng kung ano yung mga kinakailangan nila. So yan yung natural state. Kapag diniktahan niya ng gobyerno, maaaring ma-disrupt yung natural dance na yun, no? The dance between the supply and demand. And hindi magkakaroon ng development, economically speaking. Ngayon, if you allow them freedom, what happens is businesses will innovate para makapag-produce sila ng produkto na kailangan ng mga consumers in the least possible cost kasi they are profit motivated. Gusto nila marami silang customer, so they will be pushed to innovate para mapababa yung cost ng resources nila and mas maraming consumers na bumili sa kanila. So yun yung effect ng economic freedom. Okay? Another goal is price stability. Now, price stability is keeping inflation low and stable. Ang gusto actually as an economy, gusto natin na mayroon tayong konting inflation. Kasi inflation will actually drive up economic growth. Later on, we will delve deep kung bakit yun ang case. Pero ang ayaw natin as an economy is yung biglaang pagtaas ng presyo. Katulad yung nangyari ngayon. Kasi kapag biglang tumaas yung presyo, what happens sa savings mo? What happens sa income mo? Madidisrupt yung budgeting mo kapag ikaw yung household. Tama? At the same time, matatakot ka ngayon na magpasok na ng pera sa bangko. Kasi you are expecting na baka one of these days, biglang tumaas yung presyo ng bilihin and kakailanganin mo yung pera na yun. So we need stable and low prices para tuloy-tuloy pa rin yung pagtaas ng gross domestic product. Tuloy-tuloy pa rin yung pagnenegosyo, tuloy-tuloy pa rin yung pagbili ng mga households ng mga kinakailangan nila. And hindi sila natatakot na mag-withheld ng pera. Okay? Isa rin kasing effect kapag medyo unstable yung ating prices is marami talagang negosyo yung biglaang malulugi na lamang. Diba? Kasi isipin mo, kung ang nakaugalian nila is say yung bili nila sa kanilang raw materials is 10 pesos, tapos biglang tumaas ng yung presyo ng 20 pesos, edi parang kalahati na nung kanilang naipuproduce yung mawawala. So that means, pari silang mabankrupt. And then kapag na-bankrupt sila, magle-lay off sila ng tao. So that is not a good thing. Okay? The last goal that I will be talking about is about economic security. Which means, dapat yung mamamayan ng bansa natin, they are experiencing financial stability and protection kapag may mga risk na nangyayari sa buhay nila. So it means we are ensuring that each one of us, each mamamayan, each people in the society has the capacity na mag-bounce back kung sakaling natamaan man sila ng any, say, tragedies of life, ganun na lang. So for example, nagkasakit sila, dapat we are making sure na meron silang enough savings na mura yung healthcare system natin para makapag-bounce back sila agad. For example, na may nangyaring calamity, dapat we are making sure that they are protected, may mga insurance siguro or whatnot, yung mga bahay nila, mga properties nila, para they can bounce back kapag nangyari man yun. So what we are saying here is, we should ensure that the people in the society should be making enough, okay, para may savings sila for this economic risk, and at the same time, yung government natin nagpo-provide ng policy na nakakatulong din kapag nagkaroon ng ganitong tragedy sa buhay nila. So for example, murang healthcare. Yan, isa yan. Pwede number 2, kapag nawalan sila ng trabaho, pwedeng magbigay ang government ng ayuda. Those kind of things provides economic security sa mga tao within that community.